Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today in War Thunder we're going through some of the changelogs over the last week or so, which is pretty much some very simple things. Some bug fixes, some changes to certain vehicles, but before we start I do want to just clarify what's going to be happening over the next month. One of the things that this year I'm personally going to have to do a lot of is traveling, and this is basically for work, and therefore I am going to do a lot of pre-recorded stuff, so therefore, if you see some videos and you don't see me responding, or you see a bunch of videos and I'm not on Discord, well, I'm probably working. I have a full-time job on top of this, so therefore, just kind of putting that out there so you guys understand. Work comes first to this. Obviously, have to make a living, have to do all that stuff, so therefore, we're putting that first, like I always do. Anyway, let's get into the changelogs and see what's going on. So the first one is a bug which could lead to the camera view and button GUI animations of the hangar being accelerated. The acceleration in single missions and micro freezes in some rare cases have been fixed. So if you didn't know what was going on, I don't know what caused this. This was another one of those crazy bugs in War Thunder. But if you were sat in the hangar and you were just kind of here, right, and just having a look around, what would happen is something would cause the camera just to start going faster, right? So you know how it goes in that view where it like looks across, and the view which makes everything look kind of it looks kind of cinematic. Well, if that was happening to you and the camera was going faster, you could take any vehicle into a test drive or single mission if you want to take some planes in, and what would happen is you would go incredibly quick, meaning that you could kind of break the game if you're using specific vehicles such as the R3. Now, the reason why I'm putting so much emphasis on, obviously this being fixed, but the fact that this is a bug in the first place is there must have been a change where they fixed something else and broke something else, right? And this is a classic programmer thing that, you hear them talk about all the time, where you fix one bug and then 10 others pop up. And it's a really great example of it happening in War Thunder. And it reminded me of an infamous time a few years ago where a major update came out and you could literally crash your bomber into the ground, and you would get a ton of silver lions and a ton of RP for crashing your bomber into the ground. So in a ton of matches over and over again, people would literally just smash their face into the ground, get a bunch of RP, go into the next game, and so on and so forth. And this was before the days of crew lock and all of that stuff. So you could pretty much do it ad infinitum. And the interesting thing is they didn't actually punish anybody for abusing this bug, because technically the way they phrased it is it was their fault. So therefore, it wasn't up to the individual to not exploit it. It was Gaijin basically screwing up, and because so many people were doing it as well, obviously banning a bunch of people is kind of hard to do. At least, you don't really want to ban a massive amount of your player base, which is exploiting a bug that you have created. Anyway, let's go on to the next day. So this is probably the big one. The Sidam, this was 7th of the 2nd, 2019, 1850121. The Sidam, or the Sidam, I like to say Sidam just because it's easier to say, 25. A bug with the presence of a leading marker in realistic and simulator battles game modes when shooting at air targets has been fixed. The leading marker has been removed as the vehicle isn't equipped with any radar. So if you didn't know, when the Sidam came out, this machine here, on the dev server and on the live server in update 1.85 for 2 months, 2.5 months at this point? No, well, about a month and a half, 2 months. This thing had radar. Now, when we actually had a look into it, quite a few of us, we found that there was some kind of different targeting system, which wasn't just the same as iron sights. There was some kind of, electronic targeting system, but it isn't the same targeting system as what you find on the Gepard, what you find on the AMX-30 DCA, and also other machines like that. So therefore, it seems like they are just stripping away completely the fact that it has, the leading marker, which is radar-guided AA in the game. They have talked about in the past, in the last Q&A, I believe, that they're actually going to be changing the way that radar-guided AA works in the game, which should be kind of nice. But the thing is now, something that has to be talked about, is if we have a look at 8.0, this has AA, the 8.0, the AMX-30. The Type 87 at 8.0 has radar. The French one has radar as well. Chieftain Marksman has radar. The Schilke at 8.0 also has radar. The German 8.0, which is of course the Gepard, probably the best out of the bunch, this has radar. And the two machines for the US at 8.0, the M247 and the M163, both have radar. So now, Italy, with its 8.0, does not have radar. Does this mean we should drop this thing's BR? My answer would be yes. I would drop it to 7.7 or 7.3. I think it is much more like a Falcon than it is a 8.0 BR vehicle, which when I look at the foundations, right, the foundations of every other 8.0 vehicle having radar, it makes sense to me. The Falcon at 7.7 is still an amazing aircraft killer, but it doesn't have radar. And another thing it also has is a default shell that can pen 60, so you can still at least do some damage to enemy tanks as they're going on. Something that Nito actually brought up while he was talking about this the Sadam, because he was acing it out, is if you look at the stock shell of the Sidam, it pens 3mm, right? And then you have another shell, which is the exact same shell, and it also pens 3mm, until you get the M791, which pens 110, you're not in the money. So, overall with the Sadam, if you have to attack, or if you have ground vehicles coming at you, there is no way you can stop them. And I've advocated in the past for getting rid of HVAC belts from AA. I believe AA machines should be just, for AA. But the issue with this idea is in the game right now, that is not the case. So if we just exempt this vehicle from that rule, where it doesn't get, at least any AP in its main default round, then it has at an inherent disadvantage to the other stuff at the BR. So you've already got that. You've already got the issues with the fact that it has no radar. Therefore, I would advocate to put this thing at actually 7.7 at least. And then we can make a value judgment on whether it is good as machines like the Falcon. But this is what it had before, with the leading indicator that you can see. So it was very easy to annihilate planes, as you can see, but you couldn't really do anything against tanks because of the fact that you only had 3mm of pen. So yeah, now they've taken away the leading indicator. It's still going to be a really good AA. One of the things I personally like about it is you can go full speed forwards. If you fire the gun straight, it will actually force your vehicle backwards, even if you're going, full pedal to the metal, which shows how powerful these guns are. But I just hope that with this change, it is also seen that its BR should change as well. Client updates. So, a bug where when starting a single mission as a squad, a player's aircraft engines were inoperable and without fuel has been fixed. Can you imagine that? You just turn up and nothing is working on your plane? Be a bit of a bummer, wouldn't it? A bug where there was a shaking vibration of components in the viewfinder on different vehicles has been fixed. Thank God. That was very much annoying on some of the vehicles that I was using. A bug where, after installing rocket weaponry on some boats, the main caliber gun stopped traversing has been fixed. Once again, that would be incredibly annoying, so I'm happy they fixed that. A bug where AI gunners on naval vessels would fire inaccurately at aircraft has been fixed. Okay, so now we have even more accurate AI gunners. I know a lot of people are not liking aircraft right now in ships, and the main reason why is because of the hull break mechanic on ships, and the fact that all you have to do is land a bomb anywhere on the ship's deck, and it'll generally hull break the thing. Now, I have a feeling, just like how the penetration is getting changed in ground vehicles right now, I have a feeling that bombs are going to get a rework some point this year. Now, the reason why I didn't put it in some of the videos talking about what I think is going to come out this year, because I'm not 100% sure. I thought it would also come out last year, because it makes sense to me that we should have a rework on how bomb mechanics work. Like, we haven't literally had a rework in them in such a long time, and also with the Japanese Navy coming out, the Japanese have some really cool bombers with bombs which are literally useless, and I'll show you. So, G4M1, is this a good example? Yes, it is. So, G4M1, you may be asking yourself, why is there two 800 kilo bombs, right? Why is there two sets of 250 kilo bombs? The answer is, one is an AP bomb in a way. The idea is it's supposed to hit a vessel, pen it, and then blow up, right? So if you look at both these bombs, this one only has 30 kilos worth of explosive mass, and this one has 390, right? So this has 13 times more explosive mass than the 800 kilo one. And because of the way that the bombs work right now, there is literally no reason to take this one. You would always take this one here, because of the explosive mass. But if they rework bombs, especially when the Japanese Navy come out, so they can be in tandem with the aviation side of things, my hope is that we get a rework so these bombs are useful against ships. Otherwise, we still have a bunch of bombers where half of their bomb loads are completely useless. And this bloody thing as well. I still need to do a review on this. I will do it in the future. But yeah, I hope that that is the case. But if they keep buffing gunners, then nobody will ever be able to fly an aircraft, especially if ships get bigger and bigger. A records table for helicopter battles has been added. That's awesome. More stats is always better. I personally am an advocate for public open stats, just like other games have, such as League of Legends, World of Tanks. I would love to see a complete breakdown of every vehicle, every, BR, win rates, all of this stuff, so we could discuss them. I don't like the narrative that is given by a lot of Gaijin employees that this would be a negative factor because people would use it to their advantage. The better players would play the best things. Well, I'm sorry, they already do that. Like, if you are the best players, you already know what the best things are, therefore, the point is mute. The thing that you're trying to stop is the majority of the community playing what is classed as meta vehicles. Once again, that already happens. So I would much prefer just having an open and honest, set of statistics around everything so we could see literally anything about the general player statistics. I would much prefer that. Then the last one is a wonderful Horton picture, and a bug which caused pitching up on the aircraft at speeds close to stall whilst using mouse aim has been fixed. Now, I've got a feeling this bug has been in game for a hell of a long time. At least I remember it happening with certain vehicles for a very long time. The 262 was one which definitely rings to mind. So seeing that fixed is wonderful, and I actually want to test it out and see how much it has been fixed, or if what I believe has been fixed is. Because if it has, then we have some interesting new tactics that you can pull with hammerheads and with stuff like that. But if it hasn't changed that much, then the tactics will not change at all. But I hope it has, because that will change a little bit of how to fly certain aircraft, which is always interesting to learn and always interesting to play. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.